Man, look, I'm gonna say something that feels weird to admit out loud, but I think you already know what I mean. The hardest part about this isn't that it happened, it's that somewhere along the way it stopped feeling like a choice and started feeling like, well, like the only choice. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You're sitting there at like 2 a.m. in the dark, and your phone is doing that thing where it glows on your face, and you're telling yourself, this is the last time, and you know you're lying, you don't even believe yourself anymore, but you do it anyway, and then it's over, and there's that moment right after where the shame hits different than anything else, like your body just collapsed a little bit, like something inside you went quiet. Here's the thing that nobody really talks about. It's not about being weak or broken or whatever story you're telling yourself. The brain is just a tool, and you've basically been running an exploit on your own system for years. You have no idea how much damage a daily dopamine lever can do to a regular Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like your actual brain chemistry got rewired, and now a real person, a real moment, real connection in the actual world, it doesn't hit the same. The only thing that works is escalation and searching and that specific feeling of anticipation before the thing. So you start chasing the ghost of what it used to feel like, except the ghost just keeps getting further away, and meanwhile your actual life is getting smaller, your dreams are getting quieter. You're sitting in class or at work, and a girl smiles at you or someone interesting talks to you, and you feel nothing. You feel like a ghost watching someone else's life happen. You don't have the capacity anymore, and that's not because you're defective, it's because you've been training your brain to get excited about a screen instead of about real people, real risk, real vulnerability, and you didn't even realize it was happening. There's this weird lie we tell ourselves, which is like, okay, I can quit whenever I want, I'm just choosing not to right now. Except you've already tried that, haven't you? You've already deleted the apps 3 times, you've already made the promise, you've already felt that desperate specific shame at like 4 in the morning where you're just like, why am I doing this? Why do I keep? Why? And the answer isn't because you're a bad person, it's because you don't actually know how to be bored anymore. You don't know how to sit with nothing for 5 minutes without reaching for the dopamine machine, and that's the actual problem. That's what's slowly poisoning your life. I remember, there was this moment maybe 3 months ago where I was just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and there was literally nothing interesting on the screen, but I was still scrolling, like my thumb was doing it automatically, like I was a robot just mechanically pulling down, and I caught myself, and I like actually felt this cold wave of clarity where I realized, oh, this is what addiction looks like when you're inside it. Not the dramatic version where someone's on their knees crying, but the slow, quiet version where you're just gone. You're still there, but you're gone. And the worst part, man, the worst part is I thought about how much of myself I'd already lost, how many conversations I didn't have because my nervous system was too damaged, how many people tried to reach me, and I was just too tired in my soul to reach back. You look at your friends who got into this differently or less or not at all, and they just seem alive. They have this energy you remember having. They get excited about stupid things. They can actually look at a person and see them because their brain isn't screaming for the next hit. They're not running on fumes and shame fuel every single day. And so you tell yourself they're lucky or they're different or they just have better willpower, except that's not really what it is that they just didn't fall into the same hole or they got out of it faster and now they're just living and you're still down there in the dark room. Here's the part that sucks to admit. You don't actually hate it, the habit. I mean, you hate yourself for it. You hate what it's doing to your life. You hate the gap between who you're supposed to be and who you're becoming, but the actual behavior, it's still sitting there looking pretty attractive when you're lonely or stressed or bored, and that disconnect between hating it and still wanting it, that's the actual weight that makes you tired. But listen, there's something real I need to tell you, and it's gonna sound simple, but it's not. The damage isn't permanent. That's not me being motivational. That's not toxic positivity. Your brain is plastic. It's literally designed to rebuild itself when you actually stop hurting it for a while. And I don't mean you have to be perfect. I don't mean you can never mess up again. I just mean actually stopping the routine, actually choosing different when the urge hits, actually spending time bored and restless until your dopamine receptors remember what normal feels like. That's the move. It doesn't have to be some dramatic transformation where you wake up one day and you're completely healed. No, it's way messier than that. It's more like you make a different choice one time and then it gets a little easier the next time, and then your body starts to remember what it feels like to be actually excited about something real. And yeah, there's going to be withdrawals. There's going to be days where you feel numb and bored and like nothing matters, because that's what happens when you take away the hit machine. But that numbness is actually just your nervous system recalibrating. It's not depression, it's healing, even though it feels identical. The person you could have become if you'd never found the endless scroll, that person is still in there. They're just buried under a lot of repetition and shame, and the only way to get back to them is to actually walk a different path, which means doing the thing that feels wrong right now, which means getting bored, which means feeling the urge and just like sitting with it for 5 minutes and letting it pass, because it will pass if you don't feed it again. Here's what I want you to do, and I'm being specific because vague doesn't work. Close the thing right now. Seriously, just close it. Go do something that feels pointless, that feels boring, that feels like a waste of time, because that's actually the training your nervous system needs. It needs to learn that boring is survivable, that nothing is bearable, that you can exist without the hit, and the sooner you start retraining, the sooner your actual self starts to Come back, you're not broken, you're just temporarily hijacked, and the best time to get out was years ago, but the second best time is today, like literally today. I still think about the versions of myself I didn't become because of this habit, and yeah, there's some sadness in that, but it's different now. It's not shame, it's like acknowledgement, and I don't think about it to punish myself anymore. I think about it to remember why the room feels a little bigger when you're not drowning in that specific cycle. The world is louder when you actually have the bandwidth to hear it. Leave a comment if this resonated. If you're feeling that weight right now, we're all trying to figure out how to want real things again. I believe in you.